correspondence. It's public comment now. Public comment. Will you please get him the agenda?
Let me look. Thank you.
Okay. Fine.
Public comment?
Yes.
Okay, first I'll apologize for being late for the meeting. I had a doctor's appointment and he was running like 2 hours late, so I apologize for being late. Should we?
Make the motion to put him back on as president.
I move that we rescind naming you President Pro Tem at this point and revert to Mr. Shenandoah as the President.
Motion been made, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
All opposed, nay. Ayes have it, motion. You read the correspondence you said?
Yes.
Okay, I'll read it when I get a chance here. Public comment, don't let me forget. Do you want to go first? You two? Public comment, or you want to?
Go ahead.
Ask her? All right, I won't forget this time, okay? Public comment. The first one is Diane Pitcock. Come right on up to the microphone, please.
There is no microphone.
Go get it. Let me remind you that you had 5 minutes.
Okay,
Okay.
thanks for the thought. Thank you for the opportunity to speak. And first thing I want to say that just came to mind was a recommendation when Shirley was reading the correspondences. It'd be helpful if she would announce ahead of time who the letter is from before reading it, because it was in suspense until the end to find out who the letter was from. So I don't know, that's just a comment if you want to consider. Okay, that being said, what I really want to do first is I just want to make sure that I have a good understanding of the events that recently happened regarding the floodplain permit at Mark West and the stop work order. So for my own purposes, because I did go to the hearing that really wasn't, because it was settled prior to Judge Sweeney hearing what was going on. If I understand correctly, that Mark West permit that had been approved about the fill dirt near Buckeye Creek, because it was appealed by members of the Watershed Association in accordance with the floodplain ordinance that has already been passed by the County Commission, you were required to issue a stop work order, which of course you did. Am I on track here so far? Okay. That being said, so at that point, you obeyed the ordinance that you were required to obey, and then Mark West came along and filed an injunction against the county commissioners because of having been issued a stop work order. Now I got that right so far. Okay. So then, in response to the injunction, a hearing date was set, and it was to be heard, and Donald Tennant, I guess, is the attorney that was going to represent this, and we all met, we all met to hear the outcome of the hearing, and as a result, it turned out that the lawyers for each side met in the other room and came out and announced that there would be no hearing because, in essence, I don't want to settled out of court because it wasn't, I'm not sure what it was called, but you came to an agreement, an understanding, and that agreement was that you would rescind the stop work order, but allow them to continue to do the work while you were waiting to hear the appeal. Now, do I have my facts right? Okay. Anybody here?
Go ahead.
Did I, because I haven't been in on this all the way. I mean, I have followed it, but I do a lot of work that's outside the county, and I'm just trying to keep tabs the best I can.
It was my understanding from the meeting with the attorney that the ruling was issued based on a previous, the previous version of the ordinance, and the final, there was one, it was my understanding that there was a definition of an aggrieved person, and an aggrieved person had to be an adjacent landowner. Is that what?
That's what I understand.
And so it was determined amongst them that it wasn't, or that it was based on erroneous, the stop work order. And the stop work order has to be issued after the floodplain manager determines that the appeal was properly filed.
Okay.
And properly filed means by an aggrieved person.
Well, did the floodplain manager actually have opportunity to do that?
He was operating on that previous version.
Okay. Well, all this being said, I just wanted to make sure that that gets into the recording and the notes and so forth, because as I said, I try to follow it the best I can, because I do participate in some of the watershed activities and some of the other activities I do with looking into issues that are related to drilling. Anyway, I have a gentleman that does a lot of research and lends support for us in Doddridge that had given me some information that I was able to look into, and in fact did, and I'm going to give you each of this. I would just like to read this out loud for the remainder of my 5 minutes and give you all a copy. And did you? I printed out about a dozen copies if you want to share them. Anybody on that side get a copy? Okay. I just want to read this out loud because this is from the West Virginia Code, so that I can make sure that we have on record exactly how and what responsibilities we have as far as the commission. That's my next copy. Okay. All right. This is West Virginia Code 713KK, which pertains to the duties, responsibilities of the county commission. Authority to provide for the elimination of hazards to public health and safety, and penalties. In addition to all other powers and duties now conferred by law upon county commissions, commissions are hereby authorized to enact ordinances, issue orders, and take other appropriate and necessary actions for the elimination of hazards to public health and safety, and to abate or cause to be abated anything which the commission determines to be a public nuisance. The ordinances may provide for a misdemeanor penalty for its violation. The ordinances may further be applicable to the county in its entirety or to any portion of the county as considered appropriate by the county commission. Now, I know that there's been a lot of conflict going on over the floodplain and over those who are advocating or very pro-drilling or those who are concerned about the drilling, but bottom line is this section of code, and I know I have said this myself over the years with like the Joy Huff situation and other things pertaining to not only floodplain, but other issues that impact the population at large in Doddridge County. And that being said, I have mentioned many times that the county commission has more authority than they think. Therefore, I look at this as something to be considered, because with what's been happening with the floodplain issues, I feel that you are not paying due diligence to what needs to be done that you are empowered to do. And you have a responsibility to the people of Doddridge. Okay? I've used my 5 minutes. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Linda Erbolina, you're next.
I'm going to pass that.
Pass. Christina Woods.
I'm going a little bit backwards, I think, because I wasn't here for the comments, and I wrote them down, about the meeting on May 20th and the comments and votes taken at that meeting. And I'd like to preface with, I don't really need a reply from Mr. Robinson. I've watched the videos, I've read your letters. I think I'm pretty clear on your opinion. I'd like to say, as a native West Virginian, I'm born and raised in West Virginia, not from Doddridge County, but I was born and raised here. I found your comments about those that have moved here from someplace else to be an embarrassment to all native West Virginians. I feel that these comments were clannish, hillbilly, we don't like outsiders, everyone has to be like us stereotypes. And it's the year 2014, and people move all over the globe, and saying such things, it's divisive. And when you sit up here, you're supposed to help unite the county, not divide. And I'm embarrassed for my friends that moved here from other states that a native West Virginian would say such things to you. I'm embarrassed. You should be embarrassed. And you can say at the end that you said you didn't mean them, but that's a real nice way to say really mean things, and they go, oh, I didn't mean them. So I'm just embarrassed about that. And the vote taken at the end of your extensive comments to limit the content of public comment, that was against free speech to me. And one of our rights as American citizens. If we were to follow that idea that you can never bring anything up again when she spoke about it, we would still have slavery in this country. Women wouldn't be allowed to vote. We might even still be segregated. Anything that's worth talking about is going to be brought up more than once. So I think that if you don't want to listen to the residents, and if you think our FOIA requests are not inconsequential, then maybe you should not be a representative of the people. Finally, another point I'd like to make about that vote that was passed was so little thought, and Ms. Williams also passed it. My uncle was a native West Virginian. He was a frogman in the U.S. Navy for World War II in the South Pacific. He swam in shark-infested waters by the cover of night before the troops got to the islands to detonate bombs and landmines and map out barriers, and would stay in the water and help bring the troops in the ships. He fought for the freedoms that we have in this country, and free speech is one of them. And that vote was a slap in the face to every person who has ever fought for this country and our freedoms. And I want to thank Mr. Sandora, because I believe he said he was a veteran. He voted no on that, because I think he understands what that freedom means, because he fought. And I just think that he should be applauded for doing that, and I think that vote should be retaken. Thank you.
Mariana?
I'm going to pass.
Wayne Wood?
Yeah,
I'll time you on the clock.
okay. I wanted to get on the agenda, but due to my work schedule, I don't know if I can make it to the meeting or not, so I didn't want to be disrespectful to the commission by getting on the agenda and not showing up. So I just want to use my 5 minutes of public comment to talk about what the DCWA, Doddridge County Watershed Association, is doing in the county. I wanted to give you a report on our stream cleanup that we held in April. We had 10 volunteers, and we managed to clean up 880 pounds of trash, 75 pounds of scrap metal, 2 tires, and 1 appliance from Buckeye Creek, Middle Island Creek, North Bend Rail Trail, and along Smithton Road. So I'd like to thank the West Virginia Make It Shot for providing materials for us for that. And I'd like to thank the Doddridge County Solid Waste Authority for providing, Clyde Barr especially, for providing cleanup for that. So, trying to make the county clean. Another thing, last night some members of the Watershed Association attended a meeting in Middleburn with a newly formed group, the Middle Island Creek Conservation Group, and this consists of folks from Tyler, Doddridge, Pleasance, and Wetzel counties. And this group will be conducting ongoing stream testing that the Watershed Association is already doing. But this will give us an outlet for our information that we haven't, to this point, made our information public. So this will give us an outlet for that, and they're going to create a website where the public can join and check out that information. The third thing is with a joint effort with the West Fork Conservation District and a group called Cocoa Ross. And Cocoa Ross is a community collaborative rain, snow, and hail network. And this is a group of volunteers all over the country that provide rainfall data for folks like the National Weather Service, other meteorologists, hydrologists, emergency managers, city utilities, insurance adjusters, the USDA, farmers, and other folks that just want to know, what kind of rainfall we had in the area, the night before or whatever. We particularly believe that this is important information for the OES director, to where he can look if there's perhaps a rainfall event, significant rainfall event that's happening in the county, that he can visit this website and view the data that we're collecting from rainfall, and perhaps make some determinations on assistance for county residents. We have one station installed, and it's been up and running since May 18th. And if you want to view this data and you want to take this information down, it's www.cocorahs.org. And the station that we currently have up is it's WV-DD-1. Within the next couple of weeks, we'll have another station going in the southern part of the county, hopefully. And we're also looking for volunteers to put these stations up all over Doddridge County. The more information we have on rainfall, the better, because everybody knows, I can have 0.2 of an inch at my house. 2 miles away, down the road, my neighbor could have 1.5 inches. So this is important information to have for everyone. I'd also like to mention that we installed a Evo transpiration simulation unit, and what this does, it records how plants lose their moisture. The soil and plants lose their moisture over a period of time in one day. Say if you have a day such as today where it was windy and it was kind of humid today, but if you have that, your evapotranspiration is going to be a higher number. If you have an overcast day where it's a little wet or whatever, your number is going to be lower. We find this information is important for farmers and other folks, gardeners and such that want to know, maybe they need the water, maybe it was a little drier that day than what they thought it was. This information is not online yet. I have emails into them, and hopefully they'll get back to me, and maybe we'll have it up and running. I am collecting data on that right now, but we just don't have the information out there right now. So I'd like to thank you guys for letting me speak today.
Thank you.
Mr. Woods, I would like for you to pass along my appreciation for your cleaning up the streams.
Okay, thank you.
Can't pronounce your name.
Who? It's not on there.
Who is it? Glenhong. Is that, am I doing that right? I thought that was you. Sorry.
No, mine's
Seanette.
Huh?
Seanette, read mine.
I have a note beside mine. Mine's Kirkwood.
No. The last one, what's that? Read that. Spell.
Looks like Glenn Long to me.
No.
I was wrong. I didn't see any separation yet. Sorry. I apologize, sir.
It's all right. My name's Glenn Long, and I live at Straight Up, just off Long Run Road at Sherwood. And I'm here to tell you that everybody's not a winner in the new Doddridge County boom of gas and oil. My wife and I certainly aren't. If you guys don't know this, there's some people running noise pollution tests. They've been in my yard. I'm half a mile away from the plant on the other side of the town. The latest one was a spec particle monitor for particulate matter by the Southwestern Pennsylvania Environmental Health Protection. They left the monitor there for 2 months, moved it inside, moved it outside. Long story short, the report's terrible. I'm gonna have to move it. I can't stay here. My wife's got asthma. It's been a lot worse in the last 18 months since the plant opened up, and it's pretty clear cut when you see these. I got a highlighted copy for you guys too, so you can see what we're down window. Walter Randolph, Chad Evans, we're us in the same boat. The hill's there, but we're still catching it. Wayne mentioned weather. That's absolutely true. The conspiracy theorists are saying, oh, they're bleeding stuff all in the middle of the night. It's humidity and dew and so forth. The nights that these things peak are exactly when it was raining or heavy dew that kept it down in my house. The last report was moderate. We had 13 of those. The next ones are unhealthy for sensitive groups. I had 7 of those. Very unhealthy for everyone, 5 of those. And unhealthy for all people, bring them inside, close your doors and windows, and run your air conditioning. I don't have air conditioning. So when I turned this report in, well, the 30 Martin got the report back, they immediately sent me 2 more. One for outside, one for inside. The first ones were there during February and March, maybe a little bit of April. Work was not cranked up at that time due to weather, due to commits, whatever. They're cranked up now, so this new monitor is indicating far worse conditions than it was the first time. When I get this back in 1 month, I'll bring you guys the results of that, but pretty shocking. So anyway, I'm from Southern West Virginia, so I'm a y'all too, no separation here. And I didn't get any pipeline run through my yard, so I didn't get any money out of it. I got the same trucks, the same dust, the same dirt that everybody else has got as a byproduct of this. But mostly, I just can't stay where I'm at. Pretty clear cut.
What company set the monitors up for
Southwestern Pennsylvania Environmental Health Project.
you? Okay.
And you guys want that one? I highlighted some of the summaries. Basically, it's, like I said, bring your children inside. Don't breathe the air. We're all on winning.
Thank you, sir. You just got one copy.
I have another copy.
We'll make some.
Here's one.
Well, that's all right. We'll make some.
That's okay, I have more.
We need one for everybody.
Excuse me, Mike was on there, and I think my name was missed. Can I have a couple minutes, please?
Let me see. I'm sorry if I missed it.
I'm at the top. Laura Price?
I missed it?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well,
Sorry. I'll time you on the clock. Go
that's
ahead.
okay. Glenn's my husband, and he probably said everything that I was going to, but I did want to make a few points. First, that I am very thankful for the opportunity to speak my opinion in a public meeting, and I appreciate the Commission's accommodation of evening schedules. I would not be able to be here if we continued having in the daytime, so thank you very much. And in respect to the ongoing oil and gas conversation, just reiterate that we are both West Virginians. He grew up in the Chemical Valley of Charleston, and I grew up outside the Weirton Steel Mills. And because of that pollution in our childhoods, we looked around West Virginia for almost 3 years before we decided to settle here in Doddridge County. And in 1984, we bought a beautiful little piece of property with a stream running through it, and perfect place to raise our kids. We absolutely love it. We are right off a long run. It's about a half mile east of the Mark West plant. So we don't feel like we have all that peace and quiet and clean air and clean water that we did when we first moved here. But I do know that change is inevitable, and sorry to say that I really feel that the people who are embracing the industrialization of Doddridge County and the surrounding counties as an economic boom are very short-sighted. I feel that the influx of money that's coming in right now is just that. It's here for now. But the long-term environmental and health impacts, we don't even know yet. We have no idea what they're going to be doing to us. I know in the past the rain has cleaned our streams, and things like our outhouses and our oil spills have washed away. But the size of that industry, the oil and gas industry of the turn of the 19th century, the size of the septic systems over top of, or the outhouses over top the creeks is nothing compared to what we have going on here. You all know it. You see it every road you drive on. There's a plant, there's a well, there's something going on. And it's the magnitude is so much more than we've seen in the past. And the Southwest Pennsylvania Environmental Health Project, my husband said, placed the air quality meters on our property. It was actually in April and May. And those meters do indicate emissions consistent with heavy diesel and drilling activities considered unhealthy and even dangerous. I've been talking to my neighbors, and I don't understand why they don't want to speak out. Maybe like me, it's very difficult. I'm not comfortable speaking in public. But I have to ask them, well, why do you not come to the commission meetings and talk? And they say, we can't stop what's going on here. Our opinion doesn't matter. And maybe they're right, I don't know. But I'd like to think that we do have a say, that we do live in a democracy. I recently spent time with an 8-year-old boy from the Big Isaac area. And we drove past the Mark West plant, and he said, I don't like that. I said, what do you mean? What don't you like? And he said, the tearing down of the mountaintops and the tearing down of the trees makes me sad. And another boy in my neighborhood, he's, 11 or 12, he has nightmares about his house exploding and his family burning up inside of it. If this is an economic boom, that's great, but what about down the road? What about our children and grandchildren? Where are they going to be? Anyway, I'm asking that you please take into consideration the long-term health and environmental impacts that our children and our grandchildren will be dealing with long after the Marcellus reserves are drained. Thank you.
You.
I don't have one with me, but I can send one to you. And the email address, I can email it.
Sorry, I missed it. Did I miss anybody on public comment? Okay, sorry. Before we go in any further, let me just remind you that we're having a commission meeting. This is a business meeting. This is not a town hall meeting. When somebody comes up here to talk on the microphone, no matter what they have to say, the audience needs to be quiet. Okay? You don't need to be giving us your opinions while this person's talking. Whenever that person gets done, the meeting's over, you can give your opinion outside for 15 days. I don't care. But that's rude. That is very rude.